Welcome back to the channel Safemoon Millionaires. My name is Ishaan, and in this video we're going to be covering exactly what Operation Pheonix could be before Safemoon unveils it tomorrow and what that means for Safemoon going forward. Along with that, we'll also be covering what could happen after they announce it, because this could potentially send Safemoon to the moon, or it could be sell the news and Safemoon ends up dumping. There's two scenarios that could play out, but in either scenario we're going to be breaking down the technical analysis, price target, and exact strategy to profit off Safemoon regardless which way it goes, so that you can anticipate how to play it. Alright, so right off the bat, we can see that John Caroni basically today tweeted out that Operation Pheonix is bigger than any exchange listing. The next piece will be revealed during the Sunday AMA, which is tomorrow. So as we know, Operation Pheonix has been really hyped up. No one really knows what it is. There's been quite a bit of speculation based on a lot of hints that Safemoon has provided to us, but overall, we're kind of waiting and it's really been hyped up. So this is going to be a super exciting piece of information and a major catalyst for Safemoon going forward, because Operation Pheonix is essentially Safemoon's long-term plan, basically what they're going to be implementing and working on for months and potentially years to come. Essentially, whatever they announce is going to change the landscape for Safemoon going forward. So this is going to be super exciting, and so make sure you guys tune in. We're actually going to be live streaming this tomorrow, and we'll be doing some breakdowns of whatever they announce as well. Now, what could Operation Pheonix potentially be? Well, after doing some research, there are two scenarios that seem the most plausible to me that could be implemented, or even both of them combined. So first of all, we can see that about 17 days ago there was this Reddit post, the story of Project Pheonix and the unbanked. Essentially, John Caroni at the end of the AMA a couple weeks ago said that Safemoon is going to be the fuel for the freedom of the unbanked. And essentially what unbanked is that unbanked are adults who do not have their own bank accounts. And this could be due to multiple reasons, like the lack of access, lack of minimum balance, and all of that, distrust in banking system and no government issued ID. And basically there are roughly 1.7 billion unbanked people around the world. And so to conclude, essentially what their speculation is that Safemoon is going to be the fuel for the freedom of the unbanked, and essentially the team is trying to make the jump from cryptocurrency to a type of fiat currency. And as you guys know, this was 17 days ago, and guess what Safemoon announced last week on their Safemoon platform? A simplex integration. With a simplex integration, people can now convert their fiat currency to Safemoon. So this Reddit user indeed did absolutely nail the fact that Safemoon is going to be trying to make the jump from cryptocurrency to a type of fiat currency, especially a replacement for local currencies in different African, South American, and Asian countries. And so basically in the end, this would mean people in weak economies would use Safemoon instead of USD, since it's easily accessible, enables financial services which they have no access to, and people in strong economies, the hodlers, essentially hodlers like us, we're going to be keeping the currency stable due to the reflections and passive gain similar to government bonds, and essentially in a way like dividends. With the addition, the more they hold, the more they get. So overall, this is a pretty smart strategy, and as we know, the team has been planning to expand into places into Africa and do some charity stuff over there. So this would potentially be one of their long-term goals to implement in such countries. Now, the second thing that Operation Pheonix could be is the never-ending cycle of the burned. Essentially, they basically talk about firstly the wallet and the card, right? And as you should know, they partnered with Simplex to offer fiat to Safemoon conversion, and the card is going to let you spend your crypto as depicted in the card. But if you think, cool, so we can spend our Safemoon and go buy stuff with it, you're wrong. The reason why there are other coins shown in the card, as you can see, I tried to pause it at kind of a good place on this Safemoon tweet. As you can see, there's some other crypto signals over here. I think that's Bitcoin right over there. Essentially, the wallet will allow you to deposit any crypto into it, while Safemoon will play a major role in the transaction fee. So anytime you use the card to pay, a transaction fee is incurred. However, you will not be paying with fiat or the underlying crypto that you choose to pay for the transaction. You will be able to use Safemoon to pay for your transaction fee. And yes, tokenomics is still in place when the Safemoon is paid as a transaction fee. And the second is the exchange, right? The exchange plays a major role to facilitate liquidity in the market. So let's say you pay using Bitcoin to purchase a cup of coffee. The Bitcoin sold in the exchange is converted to fiat, and anytime that you do a trade in the exchange, there's a fee, and obviously you're going to be paying that with Safemoon. So Operation Pheonix will result in a never-ending cycle of burnt. So as more people participate in the exchange and use the card, the more Safemoon will be burnt, and the more reflection will be realized by the holder. So this is another major thing that Safemoon could be implementing. Essentially, as people continue to pay the transaction fee using Safemoon while using other cryptocurrencies, what this concept will essentially do is increase the adoption of cryptocurrencies in general, right? It'll be one place where you can use all cryptocurrencies to essentially purchase anything, but using Safemoon as essentially that payment for that transaction fee and to play that role of facilitator of liquidity in the markets. And as a result, as we just read, tokenomics will still be in place. So essentially, people every time people pay that transaction fee, obviously tokens will be burnt, and so on and so on, essentially continuing to drive up the value of Safemoon as demand continues to increase. But despite all of this, essentially this could easily be buy the rumor, sell the news. As we even saw last week when they announced their Simplex integration, 2 new exchanges, all of that, Safemoon still continued to dip, right? Because people have made a lot of profit, and despite how good this news might be, a lot of times, even in the stock market, as you guys have probably seen by now, sell the news is very common. It doesn't matter how good it is. A lot of people tend to just sell, especially the whales, now that they've made so much money, and smaller investors tend to, FOMO into that as well and sell off their Safemoon. So guys, just remember that if the news is really that good as it comes out tomorrow, don't panic, right? Be a hodler, believe in it long term if you are a long term believer. This is not financial advice, but make sure you really do your due diligence and your own research before you panic sell. Never panic sell, only sell based off an informed decision. So make sure to watch that AMA and come out to our live stream tomorrow. We'll be live streaming before and after the AMA, so be sure to check that out. And so now that you guys get a rough understanding of what Project Pheonix could be, let's talk about the technicals of Safemoon and where it could potentially be heading. So as we can see, we've been getting this mass consolidation, right? We temporarily pushed up to this key level of resistance. Again, we dumped instantly. Now, as we can see, the red MACD line is beginning to cross above the green signal line, showing that buyers are somewhat beginning to reclaim their momentum. Along with that, we can see how the RSI is somewhat forming a bullish divergence on the RSI. Essentially, as we can see, Safemoon is trending lower, but the RSI is forming higher lows, right? It's trending up, diverging from what the actual Safemoon is doing, showing that buyers are again trying to somewhat reclaim that trend. Now, one thing I will say is that it looks like Safemoon is now forming this, in a way, massive symmetrical triangle, right? We can see how it's somewhat getting tighter and tighter and tighter in this range and nearing the end. So as we approach the end, we can even see how volume has really died down as well, because essentially triangles are a form of consolidation, right? Buyers and sellers are both in a way equally strong and uncertain as to which way to push Safemoon. So the way to play symmetrical triangles is to wait for the break. If we break out higher, you want to be buying into that break and trading it up to that swing high. If we ended up breaking lower, then you can expect Safemoon to potentially drop down to this level right here at about 679, which is a previous level of support and where we have our swing low. Now, one really bearish thing is that on this 4-hour chart, it looks like we're beginning to form a head and shoulders. We got our left shoulder, we got our head, and now our right shoulder before our massive drop lower. So this is looking really bearish with our neckline right over here, right at this level. So this is why I'm saying, guys, that you could really anticipate a potential sell the news, because as we can see, really we're forming a head and shoulders with a potential move to the downside. So it's going to be crucial that you really monitor Safemoon's price action tomorrow. So now that you get a rough understanding of the technicals, let's talk about my price target and my exact strategy to profit. So if I actually place in the Fibonacci retracement from the swing low all the way up to this swing high right up over here. Let's see if we do end up dropping lower, right? Now let's say this is indeed a head and shoulders and we end up dropping lower. The first level of support will obviously be the neckline that we have right over here at about 720, which we just took a look at, right? This level of support, this is our neckline. This is definitely going to be a key level of support, and that's exactly where our 50 retracement level is. Essentially, that 50 retracement level is like our make or break. And so if we break below that 50 retracement level, we could be heading a lot lower, potentially down to our next retracement level down here at about, this level here, right here at about 570. And this is also a previous level of resistance that we had over here. So previous level of resistance turns into support. So that's a potential move to the downside. But however, if we bounce from the 50 retracement, it's very likely that we then reverse much higher to the upside. So in a reversal on the upside, let's now place in some new Fibonacci lines to see where we could potentially be going. So if we place in our fib from this swing high down to the swing low right over here, we can see that the next fib level is all the way up here at about 1925. This is our very likely that we break out higher to our next fib level if we make new highs up here to 1295 and finally knock off a zero and in a way see a big influx of buyer demand that finally breaks this key resistance level where whales have been profit taking. And again, just to reiterate, make sure you wait for this triangle to play out because it can go either way, right? Like we can see, it's kind of breaking lower, but you never know, right? If we end up breaking higher, wait for that breakout and look to be buying into it once we validate that we're forming higher highs and higher lows. And with that being said, if you want to learn technical analysis for yourself, be sure to check out the Gen Z Trader Academy down below to learn how to become more profitable and make better entry and exit decisions. With that being said, I'll see you guys next time. Take it easy, clocking out for now. Peace.